Severe storms tear across the Sooner State. Senator Lankford visits Norman, and Joe Mixon and Amelia Molitor meet outside the courtroom. This is OU Nightly. Weather experts said it was coming, and it did.
It's been a long day of severe storms here in Norman and across much of Oklahoma. And for much of the state, it's not over yet.
Erica Lopez has been tracking the storms as they race across the Sooner State, and she brings us up to date on what's happening now and what we can expect tonight.
Thank you, Sydney. And currently, I want to show you what happened in the past 24 hours. We saw the storms starting to affect our area around 2 a.m. And then this morning, there were even reports of hail in southwestern Norman. And this was due to this line of storms that moved through at around 10 a.m. And this is still affecting us currently, as current radar is currently showing us that we are seeing those lingering showers and storms over our area. And this is expected to continue for the rest of the night, even some severe warned storms in the southern part of the state. And this is going to move east, and as we continue on through the day, these are going to start affecting us. But again, I want to show you these rain accumulations that we've seen in the past 24 hours. In Norman, 1.17 inches, and then significant rainfall in Oklahoma City with 2.34, and Tulsa even got almost 3 inches of rain. But as well, we're seeing those wind gusts in the past 24 hours that were really high. But in main weather, I will talk about more information on these severe thunderstorms. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Erica. Heavy rain and hail and strong winds have already wreaked havoc across Oklahoma City. This morning, I-235 and many other streets were closed due to flooding, and high winds blew down power poles, leaving thousands without power. So far, no injuries have been reported, but the storm is far from over.
OU School of Meteorology is partnering with the Weather Channel and AT&T.
So the Weather Channel has put cameras on our mobile radar. What's going to happen is the Weather Channel can tap into that feed at any point they want, and AT&T is providing the data that is streaming that feed to the Weather Channel.
These new cameras have the potential to provide data in places the radars can't reach.
Getting live mobile Doppler radar data and live streaming cameras gives you visuals of storms, gives you detailed information about storms that you wouldn't get otherwise. It's invaluable.
A press conference was held earlier this morning despite the severe weather to formally announce the new partnership.
Senator Lankford has been in the state for the month of April, traveling around hosting what he calls community conversations. OU Nightly's Ashley Brown fought the rain to bring us more.
It was a tense morning here in Norman, not only because of the weather, but also a town hall meeting. People lined up outside of the Midway Deli in hopes of getting to go inside and ask Senator Lankford a question.
Here since probably about 9:30, so more than an hour and 20 minutes or so now.
A tight squeeze in the building at the corner of Chautauqua and Eufaula Street.
Do you commit today to doing everything you can to keep from immigrant families being broken up?
Questions about Oklahoma education, North Korea, and immigration were all part of the discussion.
I believe that we will eventually get to doing real immigration reform, and when we do, it'll be a once in a 30 or 40-year opportunity, and we better not mess it up.
As you can see, there's still a group of people here behind me. Some of them have been here since 9 o'clock, 9:30, waiting in the rain and the lightning just to see if they could get inside to talk to Senator Lankford. Although not everyone made it inside, some stood for nearly 2 hours, taking pictures and trying to listen through the window. Brent Settles is one person who didn't make it in, but as a juvenile diabetic of 25 years, he says he would have asked some questions about health care.
Protecting those of us as a society, because I'm also a father of 2 teenage daughters. So, whether I have health care or not is important.
Settles did say he was appreciative that the senator is at least making an effort to hear the people's voices.
I'm grateful to Lankford that he will show up, that he is willing to meet with us, and then just listen.
Senator Lankford has hosted a total of 8 community conversations across the state, including 2 he did just today. Ashley Brown, OU Nightly.
The senator says he thinks people should continue to talk through the issues, bringing about specific problems and how to solve them.
And Tori Johnson joins us now in the News Center with Trump's newest executive order.
Harley, President Trump signed an executive order today directing the Treasury to review parts of the Dodd-Frank law. This is a continued effort by Trump to end the Obama regulations on Wall Street. The Dodd-Frank law established strict rules to prevent another financial crisis. And Kareem Shurfy has been named as the shooter in yesterday's attack in Paris. Shurfy shot and killed an officer, injured 2 others, and was killed in the exchange. Paris police initially reported the attacker acted alone, but have announced they are now searching for a second suspect. The Islamic State claimed responsibility for the attack. Attorney General Jeff Sessions is in damage control after stating he's surprised a judge on a Pacific island can stop a presidential order.
No, I wasn't just criticizing the judge or the island. I think it's a fabulous place and had a granddaughter born there.
Hawaii's congressional delegate blasted Sessions as being out of touch with reality. Hawaii is, of course, America's 50th state. And Harley, according to a new study, just 1 diet drink a day can triple the risk of a deadly stroke. Now back to you in the studio.
Well, that's good to know because I literally just had a Diet Coke today.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Tori. Still ahead on OU Nightly, how one Facebook post causes the SGA president to apologize.
Plus, the latest in the Joe Mixon assault saga.
Joe Mixon and Amelia Molitor have reached a settlement. The former OU running back and the student he punched in a campus corner restaurant say they are moving on. They issued a statement in which both expressed regret for their roles in the violent 2014 encounter. Molitor says she is going to graduate from school, and Mixon hopes to be headed to the NFL.
The Student Government Association President J.D. Baker apologized for a budget mishap. Baker blamed the SGA Budgetary Committee for not granting a budget proposal after he missed the deadline twice. Ways and Means Committee Chair Ryan Eccles responded with a Facebook post saying Baker is blaming the committee instead of owning up to his mistake. The late submission caused the operations budget to receive no primary funding.
And the state capitol will be getting a new monument. Yesterday, the Capitol Preservation Commission passed Senate Bill 14, allowing a Bill of Rights monument to be placed on the east side of the Capitol. The monument will cost up to $800,000 and will be privately funded. State representatives hope to have the monument displayed in 2 years' time.
A criminal justice reform package cleared preliminary House votes on Thursday, and after a rough legislative process, the final provisions head to committee. Several unsolved issues with the bill remain, including which crimes should receive more lenient sentences. According to reform advocates, the proposed change will save the state millions of dollars over time. But the Oklahoma Department of Corrections estimates it would need $139 million over the next 5 years to implement the bill's changes.
Still ahead on OU Nightly,
Erica is here to tell us more about the oncoming thunderstorms.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. Right now, this is a live shot from those radar trucks we mentioned earlier. Right now, they're in southeast Oklahoma, and there in that area, there is some severe thunderstorm warned storms currently. But now, taking a look at Norman and what our area looks like right now, we are seeing that storms and showers are affecting us currently over. This is a live feed from the top of the Weather Center. So yes, we can see those clouds over us and that rain that is still falling over Norman. But now, for this live radar that we are going to show right now, current radar shows us that storms are still lingering over our area, as this live shot also shows us those clouds are still affecting us. But then, and then in the next few, current conditions are right now, 57 degrees, winds from the north, and those dew points very light, but those showers are still going to affect us. Now live radar is showing us that we are seeing those storms over us, and even a severe thunderstorm watch, and then those watches of warnings. We are under a flash flood watch for parts of the central part of Oklahoma as well as eastern part, and again a flood warning, a flood watch for tonight, and this is going to continue until tomorrow. But we are expecting these conditions to improve as of tomorrow. But tonight is when we are watching the severe weather threat for the eastern part of the state. They are under that moderate or enhanced risk for severe storms, and this is where currently those radar trucks are currently located. But now for future radar, we are going to see that high pressure system is going to start moving in over our area as of Saturday, and then as of Sunday, these conditions will start to improve. Those winds are still going to continue blowing from the south, but yes, we are expecting these conditions to improve over the next few hours. This is our last day for rain for this weekend, but this weekend does look like these conditions are going to improve. Now, lows tonight is what's interesting. These lows are relatively low for this time of year. 41 degrees in Oklahoma City, in Norman, for that forecasted low for tonight. So we are expecting a rather chilly night. And then for highs tomorrow, those highs are going to be around the 50s, right around normal, and those winds blowing from the south. But we are expecting to see a rather cool day for tomorrow. But again, we won't be seeing any rain chances as of Saturday. Now for the next 7 days, we are going to see those temperatures around the 50s first Saturday, and then Sunday in the 60s. And then as of the next few days, we are going to see that temperature warm up to 75 degrees and even 80s as of Tuesday, and those probabilities of rain return over our area as of Thursday with a 20% chance on Thursday. Now, this has been everything on my part. Now we are going to go back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Erica.
Don't leave just yet. Sports is still ahead. Madeline Roberts is here with more.
Thanks, guys. Today on Big Friday Sports, we'll be talking the end of spring football. Plus, we'll be taking a look at OU softball's recent success. Big Friday Sports is straight ahead. Welcome to Big Friday Sports. I'm Madeline Roberts, and he's Colin Kennedy.
That's right. We've got a whole lot to talk about. We've got the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, and a whole lot of Sooner sports news to talk about. But let's start off with some spring football.
You're right. We've got the end of spring football coming up, which means we're one step closer to football season.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Spring football is wrapping up. Now there are plenty of holes to fill, but Bob Stoops is pretty pleased with his players so far. Here is Coach Stoops with more on spring football progression.
Felt good about it. I think our guys did a nice job overall. No serious injuries, and that's a big thing. I think more young guys got a lot of good snaps that they'll learn from. So, overall, again, I feel good about it.
Always good to hear from Coach Stoops. On the meantime, women's gymnastics team took home the national championship, so now it's the men's turn. They'll start their bid for a third straight national title tonight as they compete in the second of two 6-team qualifiers at 6 this evening. This team has all the momentum in the world. For the third consecutive year, the Sooners are coming off a perfect regular season and a conference title. Pretty good.
The OU track and field teams are hosting an outdoor meet for the first time this season. Weather is playing a big factor in the competition today. We bring in Holden Cruzmark to update us on the weekend's meet. Holden, how's it going?
Yeah, that's right. Lucky for the two of you, today's rain kept me indoors and right here next to you all in the studio. Unfortunately, these April showers have been delaying events at the John Jacobs Invitational throughout the day. The high school portion of the meet was originally set for 10 a.m. before being moved back to 11 due to the rain. But barring any more weather setbacks, the collegiate edition of the John Jacobs Invitational will begin in a few moments with the men's and women's hammer throw. The 1,500 and 5,000 meter runs will cap off tonight's action before continuing at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. This year's meet will hold a special meaning for Coach Van Oudegem. In his 4th year with the program, he'll be watching his first graduating class compete in their last home meet.
We essentially came in together, and so they kind of got something that they didn't necessarily sign on for initially, but they've all done great jobs and emerged as leaders in our program, and I couldn't have asked for any better as far as having a group to work with my first 4 years.
They don't just treat you like a robot, right? So they understand, like, he understands you're a person, so everyone goes through things. So it's tough sometimes, especially for a college student, because if you're far away from home.
And hopefully the rain will subside enough to we'll be able to get out and watch some good Sooner track this weekend, watch the seniors compete for one last time.
Yeah, rain is no fun, but hopefully we can see those guys play well. Thank you very much, Holden.
Thanks, Holden. Meanwhile, the OU softball team is on a roll. After defeating North Texas in a shutout on Tuesday, the number 8 ranked Sooners are now winners of 16 straight games. During that streak, OU has averaged almost 8 runs per game. The Sooners will look to continue that streak this Sunday with a doubleheader against Baylor in Norman.
On the other hand, however, OU baseball is on one heck of a losing streak. The Sooners are currently on a 5-game skid after wrapping up a tough road trip. They ended with a 1-7 record on the 8-game trip, but the good news is they are finally returning home. The Kansas Jayhawks come to Norman for a 3-game series, and with the Sooners being the favorite and finally having home field advantage, they hope to get back to their winning ways.
And the number 20 women's golf team returns to the course this weekend in San Antonio to begin the Big 12 Women's Golf Championship. The Sooners are the 3 seed in the 9-team tournament that will begin today and go through Sunday.
The women's tennis team is in Ames today to take on Iowa State. That match is currently going on, and then Sunday, the team will head to Morgantown to take on the Mountaineers at 11 a.m. to close out the regular season.
And the men's tennis team will wrap up its regular season on Saturday with Bedlam. The number 17 ranked Sooners will take on the number 5 ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys in Norman for Senior Day. The Sooners are coming off a 4-2 win over Texas Tech in the Lubbock and will look to end the season on a high note on Saturday with a Bedlam win.
Lon Kruger and OU basketball keep adding top-tier talent to the roster. It was announced today the first-team JUCO All-American Ty Lazenby will transfer to OU from Northern Oklahoma College Enid. Lazenby comes in fresh off a season that saw him averaging 22.9 points per game and 4.7 rebounds. This adds another talented guard to a backcourt that will already feature Cam McGusty and, of course, Mr. Trae Young.
Still to come on Big Friday Sports, the NBA playoffs are in full swing.
That's right. We'll recap games from last night and give you a preview of the matchups to come on tonight. Stay with us. Welcome back to Big Friday Sports. Madeline, the NBA and NHL playoffs are going on, and I absolutely love it. Couldn't get enough of all this action.
Oh, I agree. I absolutely love postseason sports. They're the best. Let's start with some NBA action.
I'm down for it. Well, all was well in Indiana, ladies and gentlemen. The Pacers had a 25-point lead at half. Miles Turner over here shoots it up. But he's going to go ahead and, oh my goodness, put him in a coffin. All was going well for the Indiana Pacers, and they thought they were going to win over the Cavs. Then everything suddenly went wrong. They were planning their post-game celebrations, but at the end, LeBron James and the Cavs stormed back to complete the 3rd largest playoff comeback in history and the largest halftime deficit overcome since 1948. LBJ left the game with a triple-double and 41 points on the night, and the Pacers are now on the wrong side of history and down 3 games in the series. Short end of the stick there.
And we go from a comeback win to a blowout. The Bucks obliterated the Raptors in Milwaukee last night, 104-77, to take a 2-1 lead in the series. The 6-seeded Young Bucks controlled from the tip, leading 32-12 after the first quarter. Young star Giannis Antetokounmpo had 19 points on 7 of 10 shooting and 8 rebounds. The Raptors will look to bounce back and tie the series in Game 4 tomorrow.
Well, Memphis head coach David Fizdale was angry after Game 2 of the Spurs and Grizz series. And in Game 3, the Grizz brought that intensity to the court. Mike Conley's 24 points and 8 assists on top of a physical outing from the rest of the roster finally put Memphis over the Spurs. This snapped the Grizzlies' 10-game postseason skid against the Spurs and was the first time they beat the Spurs in the playoffs since April of 2011.
And OKC's own Russell Westbrook is in a bit of hot water with the league. Westbrook was fined $15,000 for inappropriate language use in Wednesday's post-game interview.
Russell, how would you grade when you look at your line on the box score? How would you grade the line?
I don't give a about the line. We lost.
That game was OKC's 2nd straight loss to fall 0-2 to Houston in the series. The game was much closer than the Game 1 blowout. Westbrook had a monster stat line, 51 points, 10 rebounds, and 13 assists, the most points in a triple-double in NBA playoff history. But the Thunder shot poorly overall, especially in the 4th quarter. The Rockets clawed back from a double-digit deficit behind James Harden's 35 points to take the 2-0 series lead. Both teams will meet in Oklahoma City tonight at 8:30 for Game 3 as the Thunder look to get back into the series.
Well, the Chicago Bulls were on track to pull off one heck of an upset, but a bump in the road may hurt their chances. They will have to hold on to their 2-0 series lead without point guard Rajon Rondo, who fractured his right thumb in Game 2. Game 3 will be in Chicago tonight, and Jerian Grant said he expects to start in place of Rajon Rondo tonight.
The Clippers this season, but we'll look to avoid that tonight in Game 3 at 9.
All right, the Oilers and Sharks summed up the greatness that has been the NHL playoffs so far. Let's check it out. Packed house there in Edmonton. But now we go to Marlowe, who gives it over to Thornton, goes 5-hole, and Marlowe slaps it in for insurance. That gives the Sharks the 2-1 lead. But then Letestu of the Oilers had something to say about that. And so later on, the Oilers would tie it up the game and then give one by David Desharnais, who would tie up the game or then give the OT winner. And the Edmonton Oilers get the game. Very fun game to watch.
That is fun.
It was a whole lot of fun to watch. And I love the NHL playoffs so far. They've been very interesting later on.
I agree. And the NFL released the 2017 schedule today. The season will kick off with the 2016 Super Bowl champions, the Patriots, and the AFC West champs, the Chiefs, in Foxborough on September 7th. Other notable week 1 matchups will be Giants at Cowboys and Seahawks at Pacers. Colin, one of my favorite things that the NFL does is they'll have games played in other countries. For example, the Patriots and the Raiders will play in Mexico City, and I think that's so much fun. I'm really excited to see that game. It'll be great.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to. A lot of people will go to the Falcons-Patriots matchup, but I'm going to look at the Cowboys and Falcons, two teams that thought they should win the NFC. The Falcons did, and the Cowboys have some question marks to answer. We'll see how that one goes out for them.
Football should be great.
But earlier on, we mentioned the Bucks and Raptors, but we have not brought up the true highlight of the night. The Bucks decided to humiliate the Raptors by playing the Barney theme song during the Raptors pregame intros. You're going to have to take a listen to this one.
From the Republic of Congo, 6'10", number 9, Serge Ibaka. A 7-foot center from Lithuania, number 17.
That is pretty funny. I haven't seen something like that. I love it when teams get into it and start some rivalry matches.
Oh, that's
stuff
great.
like that.
I absolutely love that.
Yep.
That's funny. That's all the time we have for you today.
That's right. Thanks for watching Big Friday Sports from the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication. Thanks for watching.